Maybe it says go livre.
Go Olive, it says.
Go book. Hey,
Go
welcome.
Go live.
Welcome to Quarantine on Fire.
Yes.
We're all hoping for an early parole, of course, but I think we're all still stuck at home. So we're here to make it a little easier for you. Why?
Yes.
Because we care.
James, I don't know about
We
easy,
save
but
millions of dollars.
I don't know about easy, but fun. Hopefully fun. Okay.
Hopefully fun. We've got good information. We're going to talk about fish today, one of my favorite subjects. We're going to talk about restaurant food. And I just want to mention briefly that tomorrow, Tuesday,
Oh yeah.
we're going to have a special guest, maybe two special guests. A couple of guys we know that are doing some very, very interesting things. And we're going to introduce you to them and talk to them about what they're doing. So don't miss that. The other thing I want to mention is last Friday we were talking about pasta, the difference between, you know, good pasta and bad pasta. And I mentioned some brands. And of course, because my mind is going,
your mind is gone, but it's okay. Go.
but I wrote it down this time. So I wanted to recommend 3 really excellent brands of dried pasta from Italy. One is Rusticella, which is imported right here in the Bay Area by the sister company of our own Market Hall Foods. They bring this pasta in. It's a family-owned company. They grow their wheat. They make the pasta. It's great, great stuff. Martelli is another small family-owned company in Italy that makes fantastic pasta. And the third one that I couldn't think of on Friday is Del Verde, which is also another artisan producer. Really, really great stuff. So those are the 3 brands to look for: Rusticella, Martelli, and
available here, right?
They're all available. They're all pretty easily available here in specialty shops in the U.S. You can get them online, whatever.
Awesome, man.
So,
the way it works.
Our first question.
Yes.
Unless you had something to say.
No, I was going to say the way it works with James, it's in information will come in increments, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So tomorrow he's going to remember about a couple more brands, and then Wednesday we're going to.
I'm in a sweet spot right now between too many drugs in the 70s and the dementia that's probably awaiting me down the road.
Not enough drugs today. Yeah.
Not enough drugs today. Yeah. So,
all right, so fish.
Long time ago, a student asked, hopefully the student's still alive and will be listening to the answer. What's the best way to tell if fish is fresh in the market? Well, I had a fish the other night that was so fresh I had to slap it.
So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of stuff. Basically, you want to get first this thing, right, James?
Yes. Seafood Watch. It's an app you can actually get on your phone. So when you're shopping,
so you can see it's pretty well done. You have a lot of information there. Best choice, good alternative, avoid. So you need to avoid all this, okay? And you need to stay here. This is not bad, okay? That's what you need to understand. The fish, how they look. The fish has to look good like this. You see how fresh. This is something I bought at, I forgot, some rock cod. Basically, cod is really good here. This was a tuna, really fresh. You see how it's fresh, nice. It's fresh and beautiful.
Yeah.
So basically, you can kind of tell this is a smelt. Beautiful stuff also.
Yeah, I smelt it.
So what you want is something that is nice and shiny and looks fresh. You know,
and it should smell clean. It shouldn't smell too briny. It should smell clean and fresh. Fresh fish really almost has no odor at all.
So the thing with fish is interesting. When you buy fish a couple of times, you get it. It's very difficult. You have to go and buy it, and you have to talk to your fishmonger. That's why I want to go to a great place, like where I go to Monterey Market. I go to
Monterey Fish Market,
Tokyo Fish, and Berkeley Bowl. They all have fantastic fish. All of them super fresh. And when you go to those places, you don't have to worry too much. That's kind of the idea, right?
But I want to point out that there's Monterey Market, which is the produce market, and then just up the street is Monterey Fish Market, which just they have their own boats, they catch their own fish.
Yeah.
They supply all the great restaurants in the Bay Area.
They're really
they have
cool people.
fantastic fish, and well, you can trust anything they have there basically, but you can also talk to them. They really know their product. But I notice a lot of grocery stores like Andronico's that has a nice fish department. They actually have on their labels the different ratings from the Monterey Fish Seafood Watch.
Yes.
So it helps you decide what's the most sustainable, what's another thing when you're buying a fillet, you can kind of, it should be firm. Shouldn't, like, if you poke it, it shouldn't leave a big indentation.
Yeah.
It should have a nice, moist, transparent sheen. Whole fish, of course, are easy because you want to look at the eyes. The eyes should be really shiny and fresh looking. They shouldn't be opaque.
The eye is really important, right?
Yeah.
Chef?
But of course, most people don't buy whole fish. Most people buy fish that's already been filleted in some way. So, and obviously, if you're buying tuna or swordfish, there's Monterey Fish Market.
Monterey Fish Market. This is where I shop. This is where I buy my fish with. I forgot her name. Oh no!
Oh, look at her. She's so beautiful. Yeah, that's a great place to buy fish. Of course, our audience is virtually all over the world, so not everyone can shop at Monterey Fish. But
try to shop at a good fish. That's all. And one of the fish I like right now around here, and this is not the only fish. I'm just saying for what I would buy right now would be the rock cod, what they call rock cod, or it's not really a rock cod. It's a red snapper type. What I like about that fish, it is not expensive and it's very clean.
Yeah.
So I like that. You guys, it's all over the bay. It's local. It's really good. If you don't know what to buy because, there's so much, issues. I mean, there's issues with salmon. There's issues with a bunch of stuff. But you can, get that. It's called rock cod. I don't know what they call that. But it's a type of red snapper, or it's a little fish. Beautiful stuff. It's this guy, actually. Let me find it for you.
Can I tell you how I like to cook the rock cod? They're so good. I put them in a little baking dish.
Fine, go ahead.
And I drizzle a little olive oil, really good olive oil on it, maybe a splash of white wine. And I also like to take, because we always have some in the kitchen, I put a splash of tequila on it and a little squeeze of lemon, and then put it in a 350-degree oven.
Very nice.
And it is delicious. Plus, you've got your little sauce right there in the pan.
Yep.
Really good stuff. Put a little chopped parsley on it when you're done.
So fish is absolutely fantastic. You need to understand that fish has a lot of protein, a lot of nutrients, a lot of great fat, a lot of great everything. So think about it. Like for kids, the only problem I have for fish is basically that the sea is really dirty, so you never know what to get. But if I would say, this is my personal thing, I would say 2 to 3 times a week, max, of course. Little fish, better.
Yeah, the smaller the fish, the better, because they haven't been in the ocean as long.
Exactly. And so I'm looking for a stuff to show you a rock cod also. But the idea of fish, all the fish that are small and shiny, like anchovies, sardines, herrings, they swim at the surface of the water. So they get very shiny. They get a lot of vitamin D. There are a lot of UV, right? Lots of vitamin D. That's why those fish are really beneficial, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. Okay.
Are you saying they all have tans? Because they all have tans because they swim up near the surface?
Yes. Well, that tan translate into vitamin D, exactly. Just like us, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the way, you can cook that. You can put that in a parchment paper, just, steam it. It's really fun.
Isn't that how they call it? En papillote?
Papillote, really good stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I used to do that a lot. You just put vegetables, the fish, little squeeze of lemon, maybe a drop of olive oil, and then you just wrap up the paper into a little envelope.
Hey, do you remember?
So good.
Do you remember you were talking about cordon bleu?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Woo!
Oh, nice.
That looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
When will this be ready?
It is ready.
Are you going to deliver them?
Oh my God.
We'll be able to deliver one of those to everyone watching the podcast today. So just wait at home. And he'll be there eventually.
Oh man.
So,
That's also how I like to do my salmon. I just put it like this, just very barely. And the salmon, just oven, bake it for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 7.
Yeah.
Really little, okay? And when things, I like it like this. You see?
Yeah.
That's how I like my salmon.
You do not want to overcook fish.
What you don't want to see, people, when you cook salmon is, you see that? You don't see anything here, but so if you see the white stuff coming in, that means you overcooked it. Yeah. So this white stuff, I don't see it here. I don't have a picture with it. But if I had one, I would show you. But basically, it was to show you that if you see those white stuff, that's albumin that's coming out. That's way too cooked. Okay.
So what are some of the friends of fish in terms of ingredients? We've got parsley, of course, lemon, white wine.
The fish needs to swim 3 times. 1 time in water, 1 time in wine, 1 time in butter.
I like it. Yeah, butter. Great.
I love it a lot.
And those steak fish like swordfish, salmon, all that stuff is great with all kinds of herbs.
Except that those are swordfish, isn't it?
Yeah, swordfish not so good anymore. But tuna and salmon are both really good. They're pretty sustainable.
I want to show you what I like as the top food, and I know I talked about clams. I talked about clams last time, but I gotta tell you, people, this thing right here.
Nice.
Okay, clams and mussels.
Nice.
This is what you need to eat for your immune system at least once a week. I know it's difficult, but trust me, even if you find them in can or whatever, you need to find clams. If you can't find clams, find mussels. Okay, this is really important. Clams have 8,000% of vitamin B12.
That's why it's such a great hangover remedy. There's nothing like a big bowl of steamed clams for a hangover. Not that I've ever had a hangover, you understand. No, but I've heard tell. Yeah. People that drink and get hangovers have told me.
This is not a typo. This is not a typo. This is huge. So this is what you understand that
100%.
That's crazy, huh? In what, 3 or 4 ounces.
Wow.
Let me.
No wonder I feel so good after I eat them.
Well, there's a lot of zinc.
I love to eat the broth that's left over. I just drink it like a soup once I've eaten all the mussels, especially if it's got white wine and shallots.
Right.
So good. I see you've got dill on top of that.
I can have whatever herbs I want. So basically clams, mussels very high also, but clams is way higher. So mussels will have about, I think it's about 400 to 800% of vitamin B12. Now you have to understand vitamin B12 is really great because it lasts for a long time in your body. It will stay there. So it's a good idea to eat, and also
very nice. Very
huge amount of zinc. Okay, so huge.
So what else do we want to say about fish?
Well, the thing is, the zinc is super important for immune system right now. So zinc and B12 and omega-3 and vitamin D, all this is in the fish, and most importantly in seafood.
Hmm.
So
I see it. I see the seafood.
can you see the? Oh, yeah. Who is playing with the? I'm on a seafood diet. Remember,
Yeah.
I seafood. I eat it.
Yeah.
uh,
So there was a follow-up question to that from another
no
student.
way. No way.
And this is kind of a funny question because it's not something I've ever really had a problem with, but it says, how can I rid the kitchen of fishy odor?
Oh yeah.
Tell your
Well,
house guests to leave.
not many. So I don't like to cook fish in my
Nobody
kitchen.
has house guests today.
Yeah, I don't like to cook fish in my kitchen personally. What you can use, I would cook them in the oven, especially in during confinement because, ooh, because of the flavor of the odors. So you can put that into a big dish. I'll find a picture for you in a minute, but basically you want to put it in a big dish. Put your fish in there. You can roast it for about 10 minutes, or you can put a little white wine in the bottom and it's going to steam. It's going to be beautiful. It's super easy.
Yeah.
One way we've done also, this is from Chef Kevin. He put them, the big trout, open like this with a bunch of vegetables that are already cooked, okay? Because the fish is not going to cook for long. So you put a bunch of fish just like that and you just shove it in the oven. It's pretty cool. That's in the oven, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. You really don't want to overcook that fish, right? It's super beneficial. Uh, if you want to do on papillote, you can also do something like this. You can put that into a fish, a bunch of butter, uh, cooked potatoes in the bottom, or uncooked vegetable that can cook in about 10 minutes. Wrap in the parchment paper
Very nice.
and
Now,
then cook it. No,
yeah. Now
right?
this is probably, I probably don't need to tell you this, but when you're cooking fish at home, take whatever paper that the fish has come in, any scraps you have when you're done eating, whether it's bones or the head or
Yeah, right,
any
right.
kind of stuff, wrap that up and take it immediately out to the trash. Don't just throw it in your garbage can and go to bed, because I guarantee you your kitchen's going to smell like fish the next morning. So just be smart, remove all that stuff right away. Um,
I have an
uh,
idea though. If you, if you want your house to stop smelling like fish, this is what you do. Add
what's that?
bacon.
Oh, add bacon. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't tell what that was. Yeah, bacon. Yeah, bacon. You'd rather have it smell like bacon, which most people
That's
would.
gonna work, right? Look at this. Whoa.
Now, if you get fishy odor on your hands, then
Uh,
lemon is a good thing. Just
lemon.
rub it with some lemon, and that'll take the fish odor away.
But
But
for your breath, this is what you need. Parsley.
parsley goes really well with the fish too. Now,
Absolutely.
I did find a tip. I found a tip in the Deluxe Food Lovers Companion that
Wow.
is the best way to remove fish odor from the kitchen. Like if you're
Okay.
cooking a lot of fish, maybe you're doing blackened fish on the stove in a cast iron pan, which I don't do anymore, but that was very big at one time. If you're doing that
Yeah,
and
right.
it really smells like fish, they recommend making a small amount of caramel in a
Okay.
pan, which is just, you take a little bit of, put a half a cup of sugar in a pan and you cook it until the sugar liquefies and then caramelizes. And that's how you make caramel. And apparently that will take all the fish odor out of your kitchen. So I
Wow.
haven't tried it yet. One of these days I will. I don't think I ever cook enough fish at one time that I need to worry about it, but
Right.
if I have a fish party sometime, maybe I'll try it.
That's great. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And if
So
you cook tuna, guys, this is how you cook tuna, right? Everybody
nice.
knows that, huh? Don't like
What
kill
is
it.
that on top?
Huh?
What was that on top? Looks like brown sugar.
No, it's breading
Oh, breading.
with ginger.
Nice.
Yes. Very nice. That is
I,
true. That is true. That is very nice.
I knew some people once years ago when I lived in New York, and we were invited out to their house, and Ralph had just gone out on a boat the day before, and they caught a tuna. It was a tuna fishing expedition, and they got one, and so they had it all butchered, and he had his portion of it, and he was going to grill them for us that day on the grill, and he had these absolutely beautiful tuna steaks, and they were so fresh.
Wow.
And I mean, I was eating some raw. It was so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, he gets the grill fired up, and he puts these tunas on the grill, and I said, okay, Ralph, let's turn them. Let's flip them. No, they're not ready. No, I said, Ralph, really, let's turn them now. And he kept, and then finally I got him to flip them over, and they had just been flipped over, and I said, okay, Ralph, let's take them off the grill. They're done.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
He says, no. It needs a couple more minutes. I said, Ralph, really, no. And I was pleading with him to take these off.
It's
he totally
dirty.
I said, Ralph, these are dead already. You don't need to kill them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He overcooked them. I mean, they were still tasty, but he had ruined them. It was one of the saddest days of my life.
Oh my God.
Oh well. So
I wanted to talk about lobsters.
You want to talk about what?
Lobsters.
Oh yeah, the insects of the sea.
This guy.
Yeah. They'll be here when we're all gone.
It's funny because it's funny how people love those things. I mean, I love those things. But nobody realized that actually this is a cucaracha from the sea, right? It's an insect.
Right. They're closely related to the cockroach.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So we love those, right? Crabs, all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And those cook really fast, huh?
Yeah. There was a time in New England when lobster was really looked down upon. It was like poor people food. It's like what they serve
I know, it's weird, huh?
in institutions. They fed them lobster, and rich people wouldn't have anything to do with it. Now, of course, it's highly coveted. They're really good.
So
we use a lobster stock at Cesar to make our paella, which is part of the reason.
So I'm going to tell you how to kill them, because there's a way to kill them. I would say the best way possible. And for me,
with kindness.
With what?
Kindness.
Yes.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah. So for me, the idea would be to cut them with a knife on the head directly, not boil them. You don't want to put those animals alive in the. I don't think that's a good idea. I know people say they don't suffer. Let's not do that. So if you really want to plunge them in boiling water alive, you want to put them in the freezer first for about 15 minutes, because you're going to kind of numb them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw them live in the hot watering thing. It's just, I don't know.
Some people say that they don't really have a nervous system like we do.
I know.
I believe that.
Let's not do that. Yeah. So what you want to do?
And you can be plunged into boiling water and not experience excruciating pain.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Let's not do that. So I would say a knife through. I can make a demo one day. I mean, it's not very pleasant to look at, but you want to go right onto the head and plunge a knife between the eyes.
It kills them instantly.
Well, that's the thing. It's dead. So you don't play with them, right?
And obviously, you don't want to do that a long time before you're going to cook them. You do it immediately.
Right away.
Do it and then throw them in the hot water, and they'll still be
exactly.
But they won't have seized up. They won't have that, and you just it's just not. What did lobsters ever do to you that you'd want to throw them and boil them?
No, I know exactly. See, it's like no, yeah. So great. My last thing was.
I have one more quick question if we have time.
We have time.
Someone asked, why is restaurant food always better than mine?
Good one.
So, well, it's because you can't cook. No, I'm kidding. There's all kinds of reasons.
Oh my God. I'm looking for a picture of a stock because, so yes, Go ahead. Why?
Restaurants have a lot of ingredient at their disposal. They make stocks. They always use good stock. They use a lot of shallots.
What else? What else?
They
We can get really good. First of all, we know what to buy in general. In general,
they are very conscientious about seasoning. A lot of times, people at home, they don't season their food enough with salt or other things. I mean, shallots are one of the secret ingredients in restaurants. I mean, it's not so secret, but
you have to make a you have to make a stock. You have to make a stock that's really flavorful. You need to use really good ingredients. Use a lot of butter and use a lot of salt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And spices and herbs and fennel and tomatoes and chorizo, and you can use so many things to make that stew awesome. You know, it's like.
And there's so many things that chefs use stock for. Like if you're cooking something and you want to do a sauce afterwards, they'll deglaze it with stock.
That's right.
It adds a lot of flavor to food, and it's something people don't think to do at home. Or if you're cooking something and you just decided to cook something, well, maybe you don't have stock. So in a kitchen, you'd always have stock because that's part of the routine of the kitchen.
If you don't have stock, that's fine. You can use.
I like to use wine when I'm cooking. I like to put, especially if I'm pan frying something, I like to use a lot of wine.
You can use all this stuff, all the inside, not the meat, all the head, the shell, all the thing around, the little scales.
Those are tails from shrimp.
Yeah, you put that in water, 45 minutes, kind of very simmering with some bay leaves, a bunch of herbs. I like to put coriander, black peppercorn.
And the thing about making seafood stock or fish stock is that it doesn't last as long as, say, beef stock or other kinds of stocks, but it also doesn't take as long to make.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes to an hour max. So, yeah.
Make it before you cook and you've got it ready.
Great, man.
Cool.
So I wanted to guys to let you know something. We put together a t-shirt page on our Kitchen Affair store because we need to do something before we, we have absolutely no revenue at all. And I know people have been asking to help us. That would be a good way to do that. You can go on our website and we just put a bunch of t-shirts that are really cool. That's a really good way for if you want to help us. That's one way to do that, guys. And as we progress, we're going to put some classes online, and maybe, James, we can do a cheese class online together.
Oh, that'd be fun.
We've tried to do that many times and never kind of took off here at the locally, but
you can also make those t-shirts if you just boil them for about an hour. Delicious stock.
Get the blue one.
Each one is infused with all kinds of tasty food. So we are almost out of time, and I want to say again that tomorrow we have a very special guest.
So who are those people? What's the name of the?
So it's my old friend Alberto Solis.
Yeah, I've known Alberto James for 20 years or something.
Yeah, me too.
What's the farm?
And his business partner, and they run an operation called Encina Farms, and they are doing some extraordinary things up there. And I'm not going to tell you what. I want you to tune in tomorrow and find out. We'll tell you then. But they are doing some really, really great stuff. Oh, there's a hint.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Don't tell them, but there's a hint. Yeah.
This is real ham. And as I told you before, ham well produced is really good. So stop giving people, hard time with nitrate and all this stuff. Nitrosamine, you don't understand what they are. Please leave that alone, okay?
I never met a ham I didn't like, but some hams are better than others.
Okay, that was great, man. So tomorrow we're going to have those two people on, yeah?
Yep, and hopefully they're going to... well, we're not actually going to be in the same place with them. Otherwise, we could eat their ham. But
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for
Thank you,
joining.
James. Awesome.
Don't be afraid of your kitchens. Everybody stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow.